Granted, I don't know if you can hear me, but you're muted. You probably heard me by now.
Do I have to unmute?
Yeah, no, I just was just trying to see if you were there or not. You say you were muted. You can have it muted or not but if you're gonna ask questions, just make sure it's in the chat or it's in live person like this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with you. How are you doing, Grant?
I'm fine. What about you?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. You in lockdown right now as well?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. It's hopefully it's gonna come to an end soon. Where are you at? Where's it happening for you? I'm in Virginia in the States.
I'm in Kosovo. Do you know that? Albanian.
Albania? Wow. Okay. Okay, wow. All right. Well, I'm not gonna have much time with you just because we got on a little later, but it's okay. I can still go over a few stuff with you. So
Yeah. Okay.
in terms of you being the big man on your team, would you say you are the big man on your team? You're the player who's probably gonna score a header before anyone?
I'm not the big man, but I'm the one who scores the headers.
Okay. How tall would you say you are? You don't have to say it in feet. I'll know what you mean by meters.
1 meter and 75 centimeters.
Okay. Okay. So you're not the big man, but you are the goal scorer, so that's good. That's still good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go over with you today three techniques that the big man and even someone like you could probably still use, techniques that you can still use during a match. And these three are blindside technique, the offside technique, and the turn technique. So first thing we're going to go over is over right now. I'm not going to tell you anything that worries about you creating the goals. I don't care about that. I really could give two shits in a bucket about you creating the goal. I want you to score. That's what this is what this meeting is about. And that's all we're going to go over. Anything relating to creating goals is your other teammates' responsibility, not yours. You're just a goal scorer. You understand?
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool, cool. So I'll tell you right now, the first technique is actually called the blindside technique. And in fact, the blindside technique is actually, here you go, you can see what I look like. The technique is actually a technique that you use to exploit the defender's blind spot. So you've probably already seen it. You've probably already done it before, but just to go over and so you can understand just truly how good this technique is. So it's pretty much a technique you can use for set pieces, breakaways, possession. You're pretty much the only thing you're really going to need for this technique is you need someone on your team who can dribble or who can attract attention. Pretty much someone who's going to bring like two players or three players towards them to take away the responsibility of you having to beat like two players in a sprint or outmuscle two defenders. So this is all this technique right here, the blind side. It works if you have someone who distracts the opposition. So I actually have an example right here of Ibrahimovic, of him doing it, and it's actually a very good, very good example because Ibrahimovic is probably one of, if not the biggest target man you'll probably find in today's ever football. I mean, if anyone asked you who the tallest professional player you could say, tallest striker, best striker, you probably think Ibrahimovic. I don't know who you would think of entirely. I've seen people say Peter Crouch, even though he hasn't really done too much of shit. But at the end of the day, he's still a big man. So,
Yes, yes.
all right. So let's go over real quick. Let's actually find the video. Ibrahimovic. Good, good. Okay. So the top goal scorer, were you the top goal scorer before everything shut down, or were you for your team? Were you just starting to get into the rhythm, or what was happening for your team?
We are in the first place. and I am the same. I have the same goals as one player in my team, so we are the same goals.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, I'm sure you want to be on top regardless, but
Yes.
it's still good that you have that competition. I understand. I actually have I've seen that the best strikers come out whenever they have the best competition. But
Yes.
here's the example for Ibrahimovic. So let's just turn the sound off for this. But you can obviously see him. He's gonna go. He's checking forward. But you see as I stop the video. Now I'm actually gonna use right here. You see the guy I just circled?
Yes.
So he right now, Ibrahimovic is right here. He's on the blind side of this defender, this center back right here. And that is the main pretty much usage of this move is that you want to be having, oh, what's up, Ahmed? How you doing?
Hey man, what's up?
Doing good, doing good. Oh man. Well, let me first finish this example real quick. So actually right here, the guy is circled, he's on the blind side, and look, you'll see what Ibrahimovic does next. Because what he does next is actually pretty cool considering. Don't worry about that. And you see how he gets it. Now,
Yes.
in a professional match, in a regular game, I know that you're not always going to get the best crosses from your teammates. That's just what as a soccer player, you're just going to have to pretty much deal with that. But Ibrahimovic played the numbers game, and that's all goal scoring is. It's a numbers game. And if you're one of the top goal scorers for your club or the top goal scorer along with someone else, you know more about numbers than anything about goal scoring being numbers game more than anyone. If you take 10 shots on target, I'm sure one of them are going to go in, and if not, you just keep going. There's no perfect goal. There's just a ball in the back of the net. And all Ibrahimovic did was just took the chance. So he's always going behind a player. He's always going behind a fullback, a center back, but it's always giving that winger or whoever's crossing the ball, whoever is having that attention, which that guy beforehand, if we rewind it right here, see, they're focused. Everyone's always focused on the guy who has the ball, the dribbler. Let's just give a great example. Let's say this guy was, let's say it was Messi. You know, everyone on the team is looking at him and watching him. Whereas Ibrahimovic, he's 6'5", 6'6". We don't know. I don't really know exactly how tall he is, but he's definitely 6 something. And yet, he's not given as much attention as this guy right here, because every soccer player goes through the same thought process, and it is the man who has the ball on his foot. If he can dribble, he's a danger. And not only is he going to be a danger, he's going to be someone who I'm going to be keeping my eye on a lot during the time. So this is the first example for the blind side technique. Now, your thought process always, when you don't have the ball and you're trying to get into an attacking position, should be trying to get on the blind side of an opponent. Always try to get on the blind side, and then just ask for the ball. Raise your hand. You can call for it. Some people do. Some people call for it in different ways. Some people say ball. Some people call people's names. Whatever you want to do, but you need to be targeting the opposition's blind spot, because a defender has to worry about 2 things at once. He has to worry about the guy who's in front of him who has that ball, which is that guy over here, and he's focused on him, and he can't focus on Ibrahimovic too. This guy right here sees Ibrahimovic, but he's really focusing on him. And just because the opposition didn't expect to actually see anyone pass the ball to Ibrahimovic, we all know what happens. He's on the blind side, this guy can't tell. He can't tell if he's offsides or onsides. Ibrahimovic gets it, and he scores. All right? So that's the first one. Now, do you have any questions about that? Anything that you want to go over the blind side technique? I can show you more examples if you'd like, But if you have any questions right now, now is the time. If you have any scenarios that you want to pitch to me, now is the time. I'm here for you. So,
No, it's fine. It's fine.
okay, cool. All right. So now that is Ibrahimovic on one technique right there. Now I can tell you right now, in terms of what you're looking for when you don't have the ball, using another technique is also, there's also one called the offside technique. And you've actually probably seen this technique a good amount of times. And it's no secret to anyone. Messi does it, Suarez does it. Actually, a good number of strikers do it. They just don't address it the way that you would think they would. So I can actually go ahead. Let's go to 2016. Let's go to 2016 right here. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Let's see what he does that's so different. And all right, Chelsea against PSG. So this is what he does for the offside track movement. Now, he scores, yes, and yes, he did do the blind side movement as well. But and there we go. Let's stop right there. Now, you see Ibrahimovic is offsides, right? And he's not offsides by a whole lot of distance. But remember, defenders cannot do two things at once. And when they're not able to do it, that's when you can really get them. Now, they're not noticing him because they're focused on the ball, the play ahead, and because of that, Ibrahimovic is offsides. And here's the big thing. Like I told you before, your job is not to create, and that's what Zlatan understands more than anything. He understands that if anyone on his team is going to create, it's these guys out wide. It's anyone out wide, any one of these other players right here, they're going to dribble, they're going to take people on. Zlatan understands that his job is just to score, just to be in the right position. And you see he's offsides for a second, not really too long. A through ball's in, he's running, and he finishes it. But you also notice, that back line of Chelsea, you can actually probably say about maybe one or two of them could actually go with a sprint with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. But the one thing he did was he used his size to his advantage, because whenever you're a defender and you're running back, that is a lot harder. It is hard to run back when you're a defender, especially when you can't foul this guy who is 6 foot whatever in the box. So you can't get too far behind him. They really, and in all honesty, they probably knew that he was going to score. These two probably knew he was going to score, and they kind of gave up, because if they would have ran faster, he would have been on sides quicker. If they would have went from behind, he would have been fouled and got a penalty, and Zlatan's probably going to score from there. Pretty much, they know that they fucked up. They know that that Zlatan is behind them, and they know that just because he doesn't have speed, he's still a dangerous player, and because of their lapse of that judgment, he scores. And that's pretty much how you use the offside movement. Now, notice how when he does it, how whenever he's quick, he's off quick, and then he's back on quick. Now, what you can do, and the great thing about this technique is, this is one that exploits the rules of the game, right? This is something that you can do on a breakaway whenever you're offsides and the opposition is pushing up high up the field. You can just sit offsides, and you can do it when you're in possession, just like Zlatan did when they were in possession, and he didn't have that much space. He still made the most out of it by getting back on sides. Now, this is also something, like I said, you need someone's help. You need someone to attract the opposition so you can get on sides without being noticed quick enough. And your thought process should be, if you are tired, because let's be honest, during a striker, you're going to be tired. After making amount of runs or you've run with the ball, you're going to be tired. And what do you do when you're tired? You just kind of play through it. Well, this offside technique you can do what Zlatan did, but you can also do something different where you actually just sit off sides for longer periods. You don't have to be on sides the whole time. If you just sit off sides, you can just get a couple breaths in, breathe, because the opposition isn't really worried about you because they can't. Why would a defender be worried about someone who's off sides when there's someone ahead of them who's more dangerous? It's not that they want to leave you alone, it's that there's no logical reason to even keep you in their mind. So this technique helps you in a way keep your stamina going, or not even keep your stamina going, but for you to keep a nice pace during the match instead of burning out by making so many runs. So if you're ever tired, go off sides, go behind a center back, because you see Zlatan right here. He's behind between two center backs right here. He's behind behind these two. But he could easily be behind a fullback if he wanted to. But the reason why is because he knows he's not that fast and that he needs to be closer to the goal more than anything. And you're closer to the goal in the center than you are out wide. So nothing I'm telling you really is different than what you've probably heard before. But if you are a big man or if you are a fast player, being behind the defense, behind the center backs, behind the fullback and the center back, that is going to make it very tough to guard you, especially if you have a teammate who is like this one right over here, who's willing to make that run in behind, who's not Zlatan, who's very quick, who's able to not even able to dribble, but who's willing to dribble and who can dribble a lot of times during a match. Because Zlatan, I'd say he's 30 something in this game. So enough said. Those are the two techniques you have: the blind side technique, where you go in behind, and you have the offside technique, where you go in behind, but it's more so you're kind of sneaking. You're kind of sneaking your way into the box, really, because they're not paying attention to you. And once you score last minute, they're pretty much going to be thinking in their head, who's guarding him? It won't matter, because at the end of the day, it's everyone on their team's fault. There's nothing really they can do for it. But what I can do for you is go over the target turn, because if you are a big man, that is the best thing for you. Now, this turn technique is very, 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 it's so simple for a lot of you players who have the physicality. I'm sure you already do it, but it's something that you should always keep in your back pocket, because you can always pull it out of pull it out of your hat whenever you're not beating the opposition. You can go about it a different way. So look, this is Chelsea and Liverpool, and here's Drogba, one of the best target men you'll ever see, probably one of the most impactful players Chelsea ever had. But look right here. Look right here in this video. He's going to take a touch, turn, and shoot. And that is your biggest aim, okay? For all you guys who need to get that space, Drogba realized he needed to get that space. He took a touch out wide. In fact, he took it back. He took a touch with his chest back to then turn and take a shot. And like I said, it's a numbers game. Goal scoring is a numbers game. And you really, really need to understand that turn technique can get you a goal or get you an assist, because let's say the goalkeeper does block it, but it's a hard shot. He blocks it off to the side, and then someone on the other team finishes it off. Basically, makes you a threat from not only inside the box without the ball with your movement, but this makes you a threat as soon as you get it. And not only did he take a touch back and then shoot, you can also see another one, because I wouldn't say this is Drogba's signature move, but I'd say he was one of the best at it. And you're going to see how he scores against Barcelona right here. Takes a touch and turns and shoot. It's that simple. Now, the thing about it, though, is that if you do not have a quality first touch, you all as strikers understand this. If you do not have a quality first touch, nothing will mean anything. You can still miss in front of the goal. It's possible. We've all seen the memes. We've all seen the videos. You can hit it over the bar. You can hit it out wide. But when you turn and you take your shot, You cannot for any second think that when you take your shot that you are not going to do anything but have it on target. Okay? As you see Drogba, when he turns, he has a poor touch. He has a poor touch, but he manages to get out of it and then take a shot. Now, if you're a player who's not very good at your first touch, that's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different video, which we're not doing now. But in order to be doing this to kind of turn on someone, you really need to have a good first touch. All right. And I'll even show you another example. So we're not just stuck on Chelsea. Here is Ruud van Nistelrooy. Let's take the sound off. But look how turns, takes a touch out, it's space, and then takes a shot. He's not trying to score the perfect goal. He's not trying to make sure it looks great. All he's doing is trying to get into the space that he knows he can get into and fire off a shot. That's all he does. Now, this is just a few of his goals, his career goals. This is 150 goals of his. And you see him take that touch out and score against Chelsea like that. And that is something that you should be using, especially if you are a very strong striker. Ask for the ball low in the box. Or if you want it high, you can take it high and chest it down and take a shot. But you need to understand that it's your preference. It's up to you to decide what you want. So you have these 3 tips, and I'm also going to give you even more tips for each of them. So for the blindside technique, for those of you guys who didn't see this video, just hit me in the chat. If you guys just arrived, just let me know in the chat. And this is all being recorded. I'll send it to you guys right after, so you guys can see what we go over, so you didn't miss it. I'm gonna do another one of these, and by the next week, so don't worry about. But these tips are for the blindside technique. Here's a little tip that you guys can do. And in fact, I want you guys actually to see me for this one, because there's no video I can give you to help you, to teach you guys this. If you're doing the blindside technique, right, and you're going behind the defender, what you should do, and I really recommend, tap the opposition's shoulder and then go the opposite way. So if you want to go to the, let's say you're making a direct run going forward and you want to go to the, let's say you're going to the right, you tap the defender's shoulder, his shoulder, and he thinks you're going to the right, then all of a sudden you dart the other way. But remember, he's not thinking at 2 things at once. He can't do that. He cannot think about 2 things at once. Now, because you tapped his shoulder, that just puts his head in a whole different situation, because now he has to process that information. What did that tap mean? Does that mean he's going this way, or is he trying to fool me? If he turns his head, he knows he'll probably won't be able to stop the cross. And that is the best part about it. If you just tap the shoulder, it goes a long way. This is for if you're quick and if you're a big man. But if you tap the shoulder while defender literally is in fight or flight mode looking at that ball, it just confuses him even more. So for blindside running, tap the shoulder, go the opposite way. Just play with your defender. If you have a little brother or little sister or older sibling and you play jokes on them, practical pranks on them a couple times and stuff, just something to make you laugh, this is a great way to use that trickery in the game. It's not cheating. It's just being creative and trying to score. Now, that's the blindside technique tip. Now, the offside technique, and this is something that you guys maybe have seen. Whenever you're offsides and you're running, like the Zlatan Ibrahimovic video we just saw, something that you can do and which really helps is if you stop. If you stop, and I want you guys to really get the image of that. So I'm going to use a whiteboard so you guys can really see. All right. So let's just use these X's. Now let's say this is a back 4, and I'm going to make you the question mark. All right. Now you're offsides. Let's say you're behind the center back, right? You're offsides. And when everyone is pushing back because you have one of your teammates, let's say, has the ball out here. Matter of fact, let's just make this Hart the ball. All right, he has the ball out here. They're paying attention to him. This guy is dribbling up, going this way, right? He's dribbling up, going this way. Now, because the opposition is actually gonna move back because he's going forward, this fullback is gonna come back because he's not gonna step. He's gonna come back. He's gonna come back. Now, what do you think this guy right here, he's gonna do? This other center back, he's gonna come back. But let's say you're Zlatan and you stay exactly where you are. You are 6'4", you are strong enough. You are, in fact, maybe you have a good lower center of gravity to where you can do this even if you're small. Because Aguero has done this. If you guys have seen Manchester City versus Arsenal, I believe it was the Carabao Cup final where he did this to Mustafi, where he literally stayed right here. The ball was over the top by Ederson, the goalkeeper, but let's say it was out wide here. Let's say these guys all push back, and this guy tried to, but he can't because this guy right here is so big, he's in the way. Now look, this is you right here, and now look at you. You're on sides. You went from literally being off sides to on sides just by using your body in a second. And that's all you need in soccer. You guys know that by as much as I do. You only need a second. And matter of fact, forget this line. But you guys can see that it's clear that you would be on sides if you follow this. And it's just a tip. You don't have to do it, but this is something I've used and it's worked. This is something professional players have used and it's worked. So why not try it out where you are? See if you can hold that defender back. And then let's say this player right here wants to play you the ball. Look at you. You're on sides. You have space. And all because you just stayed where you were. Now, you can just call that a dead stop. Like, that's just a stop for offsides trap. All right? Now, the last one. The last thing we have. The last thing we have to go over for the tip is whenever you're turning on someone, and if you saw the Drogba video, you saw when he would turn someone and take a shot. There's another way you can do it, and if you saw the Ruud van Nistelrooy, you'll saw that he did the same thing. Whenever you want to turn on someone, you need to grab them. And I don't mean like how a defender grabs someone during a corner to hold on to them so they can't jump or they can't get the header. I mean, hold on to them as if you're about to turn on them. And as a matter of fact, let's go back to that little scene of Ruud van Nistelrooy whenever he does it. Because he doesn't exactly use just his legs here. Now you guys can see that he's holding up the ball. His back is to the goal. You see how he's using his arm there. You saw for a second that he was using his arm. Now, when you are that physical with another player, the ref is very rarely going to be like, okay, you know what? If you do something that's as physical as he is, but it's nothing too serious, I'll let it go. Really. As soon as the defender initiates that physical challenge, he really wants to get physical, it's pretty much you're able to use this technique. And this is just called the goal scoring tuck. So you see he has his arm there. And in order to get some space, he kind of pushes the guy away so he can get that space just a little bit with his arm. And you can do that by pushing yourself away from them just by a little push. You can even hold their arm, hold their waist. And then when you need to make your run or you need to move or maybe you need to get some space away from them, you can just pull them the opposite way to create that space for yourself. As long as you're not pulling their jersey, as long as you're not grabbing them by the neck or the head, then you're good. But during this technique, you have to be careful of not grabbing their jersey, because if you grab their jersey, it's going to be called. If it isn't, it isn't. But I'm just telling you what you guys already know. You know it's going to happen. You know it's probably going to get called. So the best thing that you can do for you yourself is when you try to turn on a defender, make sure you're aware of where you are, and then you can decide, okay, you know what? I need to go this way. I'm going to put my arm on his waist on this side, and when the ball comes, I just pull it back. Just pull back to propel yourself. Think of it as a way of propelling yourself into the position you need to. All right? You're not holding on to their jersey. You're just using them to get the space that you need. That's really it. Okay? Now, let's go over the three things that we just went over, but we're gonna go over the tips as well. So there's blindside technique, offside technique, then there's the turn. You have the tips for that, which is just tap the defender on the shoulder if you're doing the blindside technique. If you're doing the offside technique, then you just stop where you are to push the opposition, the center back who's with you, into a position to where you're on sides and he's not with his line. And the third one with the turn, where you use your arms and you pull back. Now, if you guys were expecting a very, very like, oh, this is the secret to scoring goals, I'm not telling you much different from what any other coach is telling you. The only thing I'm giving you are techniques that work. All right? Techniques that work. I don't know about your physical strength. I don't know how strong you are, how fast you are. I don't know how smart you are, how good you are with the ball. But these techniques work. All right? They only won't work if you don't believe in them, because it's not that I've proven this. It's that this has been proven before me. This has been proven before I proved of it. Okay? So you guys need to understand that these three techniques are what's going to put you in the best position to use your physicality, and in terms of mainly your height. This is why this is called the big man, because this is basically for you goal scorers who are pretty much forced to just supply for your teammates, or just support your teammates as a target man. But in reality, you don't want to just do that. You just want to score, really. I'm not telling you to disregard your teammate duties. All I'm telling you is that, listen, you can be top goal scorer. You can do it, and there are techniques to where you can be in the best position. Whether you score or not is all down to wherever you feel like you want to quit, pretty much. Like I told you, it's a numbers game. Goal scoring is a numbers game. So you need to just keep going at it. Keep going at it. If it doesn't work one time, think about why it didn't work. But these techniques work. I guarantee you guys. And if you have an issue, if you have any kind of questions regarding what we just went over, please, you don't have to mute anymore. You can just say what you like or put in the chat, but just let me know so I don't just, throw you guys to the wolves or anything like that. Ahmed, Granite, you guys are the only two in here. Anything that you want to ask, anything you want to go over, now's the time, guys.
I don't have any question, but I thank you for explaining those tips.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Grant. Appreciate that. Appreciate you, Ahmed, too. You two for being here today. I do want to let you guys know that I'm actually doing another Zoom meeting, and it's the next week. It's May 14th, and it's not going to be about the big man. It's for players who are fast on your team. If you're a fast player, all that is going to go over is how to get the best out of your speed.
Yes,
You're a fast.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. If
And I would like to join that meeting.
Okay. How about this? I'll keep in contact with you, Granite. You follow my posts and stuff on Instagram and stuff. Just check me out still, and let me see you next time in the next one, May 14th, and then we can really get into it for your development. But let's, for now, just ease into the water for now, because I don't really want to what's the word? Just throw you to the wolves, pretty much. So I actually, if you could actually be here for the May 14th one, where we're doing the quick man. That's what it's pretty much going to be called. It's going to be called hashtag the quick man. And once you're back here, we'll go over those things. And after that, I'll talk with you and stuff, and we can find a plan right then. Because I actually have a couple other meetings I have to go to after this. So is that okay, Granite? Is that okay if we can set it up another time on the 14th?
Yes. I said that too, but it's okay. Another day.
Okay, cool, Granite. All right, Ahmed. It was nice talking to you guys. That's the end of this. Did you guys want me to send you the recorded version? I know, Ahmed, you came in late. Did you want me to send you a recording?
Yeah, please.
All right. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you do. You sound good.
Yeah, thanks. You too, man.
Thanks.
A quick question.
Cool.
Can you please go over again the shoulder tapping thing? Because I was a bit lost.
Okay. So see, it's kind of it's actually something that you don't find many videos of. So I'll just try to illustrate as best I can from the video you see of me. So let's say I'm a defender and you're behind me and let's say you're making a run. Let's say you're making a run this way. You're making a run this way and you want to confuse me and you tap my shoulder right here. And remember, if someone taps your shoulder in real life, I'm sure how you guys turn that way, right? The shoulder you're tapped on, you turn that way. Defender works the same way. If you tap them on the shoulder, they'll turn that way. And when you tap them on the shoulder, tap them right here, look over here, you run over here, I can't see you. And not only that, you fooled me. So wherever you really want to go, wherever that space that you really want to pick up, Med, you actually want to tap the shoulder to make them look the other way, to make them look the opposite way of where you really want to go.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, it's I'll give you that tip like this. All the little games that you would play as a kid, like tag and little tricks that you would think about for that, because like if you did capture the flag, tag, all those games that you would be playing in PE class, they actually do teach you a lot in terms of soccer. I'm not saying you should invest your time in playing tag and capture the flag, but think about it. Think about what you've learned from that and think about how it can go into soccer and creating space. Because in tag, you create space all the time, but it's just not your usual objective. You're just trying to get away from the opposition. And think about it like that. Whenever the ball's in the box and you're in the box, that should be your thinking. Getting away from the opposition. Just like it's tag.
Mhm.
All right. Anything else that you guys want to go over?
No, thanks, man.
I appreciate you guys' time. All right. You guys will see the posts and stuff, the promotion post coming up for the 14th for that one if you guys do decide to come and join. But yeah, it was good talking to you guys. All right. I'll let you guys go. You guys can I'm gonna say you guys can go on your merry way. But did you guys want the recording?
Yeah, please. I wanna see some stuff. I wanna take notes.
All right. I'll send you the recording, Ahmed. Granted, you want me to send it to you or you're good?
Yeah, send me two.
Okay, I'll send it to both of you guys. All right. You guys, I don't know what time it is where you guys are right now. Either it's
3
late.
a.m.
Oh, a.m.?
Yeah. 3
Oh,
a.m.
3 a.m.? Oh, man. Okay. Well, I'm not going to hold you guys up too longer. Get some rest, you guys. Just stay safe during this time, and I'll see you guys next time, all right?
You too, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
See you.
Of course. See you guys.
Later.